Today's great quote in franchising is being brought to you by
The Stone Coat Franchise Opportunity. Are you looking for a unique and lucrative franchise opportunity? If so, take a look at Stone Coat. With a patented process which creates a true stone finish on almost any wall or ceiling, Stone Coat is a true game-changing product in the multi-billion-dollar construction industry. Stone Coat is applied faster, cleaner, and cheaper than conventional quarried stone, which saves both time and money. With advantages in remodel and new construction of both residential and commercial projects, Stone Coat is a true crossover product. The Stone Coat franchise opportunity provides a low startup cost, low operating expenses, comprehensive training, ongoing support, and no royalty payments. For more information on the Stone Coat franchise opportunity, go to www.stonecoatfranchise.com. That's www.stonecoatfranchise.com or call us at 972-380-2700. That's 972-380-2700.
Hi everyone, this is Marty McDermott, the president of Franchise Interviews, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising. Each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, we've been hosting Franchise Interviews now almost 10 years, and during that time, we've had some really great quotes on our show. One of my daily habits is I try to go back every single day and I'll listen to a past show, and now I'm kind of like up to the point where I have almost 500 different podcasts to choose from. And one that I was listening to most recently was a conversation I was having with my co-host Don Johnson. And Don was talking about an article written by Jeff Elgin, kind of giving advice to aspiring entrepreneurs as far as what you should do before buying a franchise. And one piece of the article really stood out. It was talking about kind of like meeting the family. You know, if you remember when you were dating your husband or your wife, and you got a chance to meet their family, and was that probably one of the criteria, in deciding whether you go forward and get married to this person, or do you kind of say, you know what, I don't think this is going to work? Well, it's the same thing with franchising. So here we go with another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising by Franchise Interviews.
Business. Right. So, yeah, that's crucial. You want to know how smooth the opening has gone and how quickly the marketing and how effective it is to start getting people in the door and start getting some potential clients. The third one is how well does everybody get along? Many franchisers describe theirs as being just like family. That may be true, but find out whether it's like Beaver Cleavers or Archie Bunkers.
That's true, because family can mean a lot of different things, can't it?
Right.
Depends whose family we're talking about.
If you don't want to live a life of conflict with someone calling you meathead every day, then the answer to that question is important. Make sure you have a good feeling about the support and teamwork of the organization and that it matches your values. And, I guess franchises have what's called a discovery day, and you get to go meet them. And I guess, if you're good at kind of evaluating people, I guess you'll get a good idea of how well everybody gets along and how professional the staff is, and if it does have that family-type atmosphere. You definitely want to be involved. You can be excited about a great franchise system, but if there's franchisees who are complaining and there's a lot of change at top management and they don't seem like everyone's very comfortable and friendly with each other, those are all warning signs.
Yeah, it's like meeting your, when you met your wife's family for the first time. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of compare it to, is when you went over that house for the first time to meet, the parents and the cousins and all that other stuff. It's very similar. You just know, if there's a match, you can tell by the culture and things like that. So, yeah, I think that's excellent.
I don't know about you, but I missed all my in-law warning signs. I really messed up there. How about you?
You did. Well, mine are listening now, so I have to be careful.
Number 4, how much money can I make? The question is the most important one for many prospective franchisees. You want to determine the average startup investment, the average unit sales, main expenses, gross and net margins for the business, and how long it takes a new unit to break even and start making money for the owner. It's usually best to save the money questions for last. Most people are reluctant to discuss their personal finances with someone they don't know. You'll find that franchisees are more willing to cover this subject once you've established some rapport with them. So, yeah, I think that's kind of important. Can I make money with the franchise?
Exactly, yeah. And again, the franchisees can give you that information. When you're talking to a franchisor at a franchise show, they can't discuss that, can they, Don? I mean, that's
right.
Again, there's item 19, I guess it is. It's like 25% of the franchise community has the financial data in there. But a lot of the information I understand, too, is like averages, so averages can be a little deceiving, So if, for example, $1,000 and $10,000, and the average in between that, it's 5.5, so it's a little deceiving sometimes as far as, who's making what. So you just have to be a little careful with that.
Right. The fifth one is, if you had to do it all over again, would you still buy this franchise? No matter what the answer is explored, your response should always be why. The most common answer is a pause followed by yes. This usually means that there are valid arguments for answering yes or no, but pride of ownership usually tips the balance towards the positive answer. Ask for the strongest argument they can think of for answering yes or no. The contrast can be very informative, especially if you can read between the lines. Another benefit of these calls is that you will likely find your interest in the franchise quickly increasing or waning after a handful.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you can't really put your finger on why either of these reactions are happening, trust your gut. Your instincts have a way of making you feel right or wrong about a decision like this, and they are usually correct. So this is all good practical advice, with your due diligence. But, yeah, nothing's better than speaking to the actual people who've gone through the whole process and own the franchise.
Asking the franchipreneur who owns one. Does that sound familiar? It's
right.
Absolutely. There's a lot of truth behind that. I think also, too, Don, is when you're doing this, to schedule the calls properly. I mean, again, if you want to talk to Subway franchisees, you're not going to typically call them during lunch hour, are you?
Right.
Between like 11:30 and 2 o'clock. I mean, you want to schedule a time, an appropriate time, where of course you have their full attention. I think that's very important.
Good point.
As well. So,
yeah.
And again, I learned that from our show, so I don't remember who said that, but
here's something to Business News Daily, Marty. Franchises offer money back.
That particular podcast came from an interview we did with a company called Ambiance Radio. A really cool concept, talking about the impact of music and marketing and sales. A really great interview. So if you want to listen to that whole show, you can go to franchiseinterviews.com. Go to franchises listed alphabetically and just go to Ambiance Radio. And again, you can hear the whole article, the whole discussion on that particular topic, and of course you can hear the interview that we did with Ambiance Radio. And lastly, we'd just like to thank everyone for making this podcast such a big success. It's hard to imagine that 10 years later we're still doing it. So I just want to thank everyone for making it a success, and to just keep listening, sending in your questions, and we'll see you again soon with another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising from Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.